The first scene begins as Jason, a young teenager from South Boston, awakens from a dream. It was a dream of a battle between the Monkey King and celestial soldiers in the clouds. Jason is so obsessed with martial arts, and wishes to learn Kung Fu. Later that day, he visits a pawn shop in Chinatown to buy more Chinese DVDs. And he discovers a golden staff in the pawn shop before leaving. On his way home, he runs into a street bully, Lupo, and his gangs. And on seeing he had purchased DVDs from the pawn shop, they attempt to use him to rob the shop. They force him to knock on the pawn shop, though it was late and the shop was closed. And on recognizing Jason, the shop owner named Hop allows them to enter. But when he realizes the gang's intent, he attempts to fight them off using the staff, but he gets shot by Lupo. Wounded, he gives Jason the staff, and tells him to return it to the rightful owner. Jason takes the staff and runs off with the gang in pursuit. They chase him out into the street, and up to a rooftop where he is cornered. However, as Lupo is about to pull the trigger, the staff mysteriously pulls Jason off the roof. And when Jason regains consciousness, he discovers that he is no longer in Boston, but in a village in ancient China under attack by armored soldiers. The soldiers see the staff in his hands, and chase after him in an attempt to collect it. But luckily, he is saved by a drunk traveling scholar, Lu Chan. Though Lu drinks all the time as an elixir to maintain his immortality, it does not affect his kung fu. And after defeating the soldiers, he takes Jason to a tea house, where he tells Jason the story about the rivalry between the Monkey King and the Jade Warlord. In a battle to prove once and for all whose skills were supreme, the Jade Warlord had tricked the Monkey King into setting aside his magical staff and transforming him into a stone statue with magic. But before transforming completely, the Monkey King was able to cast his magical staff far away, so that it won't be captured by the Jade Warlord. And according to the prophecies, a seeker will come someday to return the staff, to free the Monkey King and end the reign of the Jade Warlord. Lu believes Jason is the seeker and tells Jason to return the staff to the Five Elements Mountain where the Monkey King is trapped. While they were still talking, the Jade Warlord soldiers attacks them. Lu tries to fight them off using the staff, but the soldiers overpower them. However, they manage to escape with the help of Golden Sparrow, a young girl whose parents were murdered by the Jade Warlord. And coincidentally, she was on her way to the Five Elements Mountain in a quest to kill the Jade Warlord, to avenge the death of her parents. Lu decides against following them to the mountain initially. However, Jason persuades him to join them on the trip, and to also teach him Kung Fu. Meanwhile, at the Five Elements Mountain, Jade Warlord has been informed about the staff. And he sends out a white-haired witch, Ni Chang, to retrieve the staff, in exchange for the elixir of immortality. At same time in the forest, a premonition jerks Jason up from sleep. And just a few minutes later, a strange man dressed in white and riding a white horse attacks him, and take the staff from him before Lu could come to his rescue. Lu finds the strange man in a temple nearby and confronts him. But the strange man, who turns out to be a silent monk, does not reply. However, when Lu attempts to collect the staff, he stops him, and the two get into a fight over the staff. After fighting for a while, they break apart when the staff falls on the hands of Jason. And the silent monk tells them he is on a mission to find the seeker of the staff. He is shocked when Lu tells him that Jason is the seeker. However, he joins them in the quest to free the Monkey King. With the dangers ahead, the silent monk tries to dissuade the sparrow from going with them. But keen on killing the Jade Warlord with a jade dart that can kill any immortal, she refuses. And as they all travel to the Five Elements Mountain, Lu and the silent monk teach Jason Kung Fu along the way. Initially, this poses a problem as the two masters had different fighting techniques. But they agree later, and they teach Jason together. When they reach the desert before the Five Elements Mountain, the journey became difficult. And on the verge of dying of thirst, the silent monk challenges Lu to make rain. Since immortals have the power to make rain, Lu accepts the challenge. And while he attempts the incantations with his eyes closed, he feels a sprinkle of liquid on him. But it was the silent monk standing on a rock urinating on him. However, the silent monk, still standing on top of the rock, sees a river not so far away. They reach the field safely and take some rest. But shortly after surviving the desert, the white-haired witch and her army find them. She offers Jason a safe return home in exchange for the staff. And when Jason refuses, she attacks them with her army. The group tries to fight them off, but they were outnumbered and were being overpowered. So they flee. But an arrow from the white-haired witch hits and mortally wounds Lou as they escape. With Lou close to death, they take refuge in a monastery, and they learn shockingly that Lou is not immortal, as he had failed his test to become immortal. And now only the elixir of immortality can save his life. Desperate to save Lou, Jason goes against the silent monk's instructions, and he rides to the Jade Warlord's palace with the staff. On reaching the palace, he offers the warlord the staff in exchange for the elixir to save Lou. But the white-haired witch argued that it had been promised to her. So the Jade Warlord tells them to fight a duel over the elixir, with a promise to give the elixir to the winner. The fight begins, and though Jason fights hard, he was no match for her. And she defeats him. The Jade Warlord then takes the staff, and orders Jason to be beheaded. But just as they are about to chop his head off, the silent monk arrives with Sparrow just in time. And the silent monk retrieves the staff from the Jade Warlord before he destroys it in a lava pit. Meanwhile, Sparrow and Jason fight off the white-haired witch from taking the elixir. And Jason passes it to Lou, who had been brought in a stretcher by some monks. Immediately Lou drinks it, he recovers, and he joins the battle. He attacks the white-haired witch, and succeeds in throwing her off the palace balcony. Determined not to die alone, she pulls him along by wrapping her long hair around his neck. But he detaches it by cutting it off, and she falls to her death, hundreds of feet below. Meanwhile, in the palace, Silent Monk is still in a fierce battle with Jade Warlord. Though badly injured, the Silent Monk continues to fight. And he throws the staff to Jason, who uses it to smash the Monkey King statue. And immediately, the Monkey King is freed. And to their surprise, Silent Monk transforms into a single strand of Monkey King's golden hair. As he was one of Monkey King's clone, who had escaped before Monkey King was frozen in stone. Though the Monkey King took over fighting the Jade Warlord, Sparrow was still bent on her revenge. And so, she confronts the Jade Warlord and throws the Jade Dart at him to kill him. But he reverses it with his magic, hitting her with it. And as she dies, she gives Jason the Jade Dart, which he uses to stab the Warlord. And the Warlord falls into the lava pit to his death. Having fulfilled the prophecy, Jason's wish to return home is granted. And on opening his eyes, he finds himself back on the pavement where he fell from the roof. Lupo and his gang come down to attack him. But with the kung fu he had learned from his fantasy trip, he defeats Lupo, and the gang runs away. The movie comes to an end as Jason tells the pawnshop owner that he has returned the staff to the rightful owner. And as he is about to leave, he surprisingly meets a girl who looks exactly like Golden Sparrow. If you enjoyed this recap, kindly like and subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon. Do let us know what you think about the movie in the comments section below. Enjoy other movie explanations on our channel. Thanks for watching.